The Secret of the Hidden Forest. Chapter 1, The Secret in the Attic. It was a hot summer day when Lina and Max decided to explore Grandpa Hans' attic. Dust swirled in the air as they opened an old chest. "What do you think is inside?" asked Max curiously. Lina shrugged and carefully lifted the lid. "Look, an old diary," she exclaimed excitedly. The book was bound in leather and looked very old. They opened the first page and found handwritten notes and map fragments. "It looks like Grandpa Hans had a big adventure," Lina murmured, her eyes shining with excitement. "It says something about a mysterious treasure in the forest," said Max, examining the map fragments. "Maybe we can find it." Chapter 2, Grandpa Hans' Stories. After discovering the diary, Lina and Max ran to Grandpa Hans, who was working in his garden. "Grandpa, we found your diary," shouted Lina. Grandpa Hans took off his glasses and smiled. "Ah, that old thing. I wrote it many years ago when I was an adventurer myself." He told the children about a treasure he once sought but never found. "The forest holds many secrets. Perhaps you are brave enough to embark on the adventure I never finished." Lina and Max looked at each other and knew they wanted to have that adventure. "Grandpa, what is the scariest thing that ever happened to you in the forest?" Max asked curiously. Grandpa Hans' face turned serious. "There is an old legend about the forest. They say it is guarded by spirits who protect the treasure. Some say they have heard whispers and laughter at night, and others have seen strange lights." Chapter 3, The First Clue. The next morning, armed with the diary and a great deal of curiosity, Lina and Max set off into the forest. The first clue led them to an old stone well in the heart of the forest. "It must be around here," said Max, flipping through the diary. They found a hidden message in the stones of the well. "Beneath the water hidden, lies the key to what is lost." With Basti's help, they discovered a small, rusty key in the well. "That's our first success." Lina cheered. Suddenly, they heard a faint, eerie whisper. "Did you hear that?" Max asked, eyes wide. "It must be just the wind," said Lina, but she felt a chill run down her spine. Chapter 4, The Enigmatic Cave. The key led them deeper into the forest, to a dark, mysterious cave. At the entrance of the cave, they found an inscription: "Only those who solve the riddle will find the way inside." Max ran his fingers over the inscription and read aloud, "I am not alive, but I grow. I have no lungs, but I breathe. What am I?" Lina thought for a moment and then exclaimed, "A tree." The cave began to vibrate, and a narrow passage opened up. Cautiously, they stepped inside and found another map that led them further into the forest. The cave was dark and cool, and strange shadows danced on the walls. "Stay close to me, Basti," Lina whispered. They heard a distant, eerie laugh echoing through the tunnels. "We should hurry," said Max nervously. Chapter 5, The Enchanted Stream. On their way to the next location, they came to a shimmering stream. "It says here that we need to cross the stream without getting wet," said Max, reading the diary. They noticed that some stones in the water were glowing. "Maybe those are the safe steps," Lina suggested. Skillfully, they hopped from stone to stone until they reached the other bank. There, they found a small box with another clue: "Follow the light of the old oak." As they crossed the stream, they noticed a strange, phosphorescent glow beneath the water's surface. "What was that?" asked Max, worried. "Maybe just fish," Lina replied, but her voice trembled slightly. Chapter 6, The Ancient Tree. After the stream, the next clue led them to a majestic, ancient oak. Its branches reached high into the sky, and its bark was covered with mysterious symbols. "It says here that we need to find a symbol that looks like a key," said Lina. After a thorough search, they found the symbol and pressed it. A small compartment opened, and inside was a golden amulet with an engraved riddle: "The treasure lies where the water is silent and time stands still." Suddenly, they heard rustling and footsteps behind them. "Who's there?" Max called out, but there was no response. Only the rustling of leaves and the distant hooting of owls filled the air. Chapter 7: Dangerous encounters. On their way to their next destination, a quiet clearing in the forest, they encountered some obstacles. A suspicious ranger questioned them. "What are you kids doing here in the forest?" With quick explanations and their amulet, they convinced him that they meant no harm. Shortly afterward, they were surrounded by a pack of wild animals. Basti bravely stood in front of them and barked loudly, scaring the animals away. Together, they managed to move forward unharmed. As darkness fell, they noticed strange, ghostly lights floating among the trees. "Those must be the spirits Grandpa Hans talked about," Lina whispered. Max held her hand tighter. "We have to stay strong," he said, though he was also scared. Chapter 8: The Hidden Treasure. Finally, they reached the quiet clearing, where there was a small, unassuming pond. "The treasure lies where the water is silent and time stands still," Max repeated. They began searching the pond's edge and found an old stone with an engraved symbol. When they lifted the stone, they discovered a chest beneath it. Using the key from the well, they opened the chest and found not jewels or gold, but old letters and drawings of Grandpa Hans' adventures. "This is the true treasure," Lina said, smiling. "The stories and memories." Suddenly, a ghostly figure appeared at the edge of the clearing. It was an old woman in a flowing dress, her eyes glowing softly in the moonlight. "You have found the treasure and in doing so, freed the spirits of the forest," she said with a gentle but powerful voice. "The stories will now live on, and the forest will always protect you." The children returned proudly and happily to Grandpa Hans. They had not only experienced an exciting adventure but also learned that the true treasure lies in the experiences and friendship they shared. Chapter 9: An Unexpected Discovery. Back with Grandpa Hans, Lina and Max began to examine the letters and drawings more closely. One of the letters was from a woman named Amalia, who apparently was a close friend of Grandpa Hans. "Maybe she's the woman we saw," speculated Lina. In one of the letters, it was written, "The true treasure of the forest is not material but consists of the memories and spirits that inhabit it. Whoever has the courage to face them will be rewarded with wisdom beyond gold." Chapter 10: The Reunion. A few days later, Grandpa Hans visited the children in their treehouse. He was curious about what they had discovered. Lina and Max told him about the appearance of the old woman and showed him the letters and drawings. Grandpa Hans was deeply moved. "That was Amalia, my old friend. She was always very spiritual and firmly believed in the spirits of the forest. I think she wanted to teach us something important," Max said. "That we should respect and preserve the forest and its secrets." Chapter 11: New Adventures. The summer holidays were coming to an end, but Lina and Max's adventures did not. They decided to record their experiences in a new diary, which Grandpa Hans gave them. "Maybe you will become great adventurers one day," Grandpa Hans said with a smile. The children felt a deep connection to the forest and the stories it told. They knew many adventures awaited them and that the spirit of the forest would always be with them. Chapter 12: The Circle closes. One evening, shortly before their return to the city, Lina and Max made their way to the clearing one last time. It was a clear night, and the moon shone brightly. They sat at the edge of the pond and listened to the sounds of the forest. "We have learned so much," Lina said. "And we have also changed," added Max. "We are now braver and know how important friendship and trust are." At that moment, they saw a gentle glow on the other side of the pond. It was the figure of Amalia, who waved to them one last time. The children smiled and knew that the forest and its spirits would always protect them. The children returned proudly and happily to Grandpa Hans. They had not only experienced an exciting adventure but also learned that the true treasure lies in the experiences and friendship they shared. And so, the summer became an unforgettable chapter in their lives, which they would carry in their hearts forever.